Today we are continuing with the Forgotten content series, and this is part 4. Today we're going to be looking at 5 unused assets. Now these are ranging from reinforcements to the abilities they have and some other separate abilities relating to heroes and troopers as well. It's kind of a mix-up of lots of different things, so this episode, like I said, is going to be referred to as assets. Now just like a lot of the other videos I've covered with this series, I have spoken about most of these things in other videos, but they are kind of mixed up and all over the place. So today I'm going to combine it into one. I'm going to be going into more depth as well with how much each asset has to offer. So let's get right into it. And as always with this series, thank you to Mophead. I'm getting all the gameplay of these forgotten assets off his channel, so there will be a link to that in the description. And we are firstly going to be looking at the Rebel Pilot reinforcement, which Ben Walk did state a long time ago was scrapped, so maybe this is never coming to the game. We are still owed 2 more reinforcements for the original trilogy era to balance out the eras for Capital Supremacy, so maybe it could see a comeback. This was supposed to be part of neither the Enforcer class or the cut Sentinel class, which most likely turned into the Infiltrator, so he was never supposed to be an Enforcer or an Infiltrator. I'd say an Infiltrator suits the Rebel Pilot a lot more. The class was supposed to have an upgraded version of the Blurg as the primary weapon, then the abilities were going to be a proton launcher, which is a lot like the homing shot, an astromech droid, and an X-Wing strike, which the X-Wing strike was going to perform like an orbital strike. As you can see, the droid brings up a shield, a lot like Director Krennic in Battlefront 1. I'm guessing the droid still roams around with that shield up, so definitely a lot like Director Krennic in Battlefront 1. Then obviously the orbital strike has made its way into the game in other ways, and the homing shot very basic, but yeah, overall this is what the X-Wing pilot would be looking like. I believe the actual skin used here in this gameplay is a modded skin. I don't think there's actually any complete X-Wing pilot interior in the game. However, that could be wrong as we do see them in the campaign, so with how they'd look, it doesn't really matter either way if it's a mod or if it's actually been found from other assets of the game, because we know how an X-Wing pilot is going to look. But that is number 1 on this list. Now up next is the Rebel Honor Guard, and the Rebel Honor Guards were Leia's personal guards in Star Wars Battlefront 1. Certain heroes would have guards where, let's say Leia was spawned in, 2 of these could spawn into the game. If Krennic was spawned in, 2 Death Troopers could spawn in, and if Palpatine was in game as well, 2 Royal Guards could spawn in. So these Rebel Honor Guards actually have a complete skin. Everything about it is 100% complete in the game's files, and this has been the way since 2018, I believe. Now I also included this in the skins video a few weeks ago, and the reason I'm including it in this video as well is because there's nothing else supporting it in the game's files as to what it would be, if it would be a skin, if it would be a reinforcement. We do also have to look at the possibility that it could be a reinforcement, just like in Battlefront 1. Now it is 100% complete, which, like I said, is a bit strange considering that the other content I feature in these videos is usually incomplete, but this has been complete for a long time. Could this be the extra Rebel reinforcement we'll be getting most likely when Scarif arrives to the game? I'm not sure, it could be this or the X-Wing pilot, but the Rebel Alliance definitely does have some options. Now up next we have the ARC Trooper Death Ray, and just like the things I've already talked about in this video, ARC Troopers were the same. They were in the game's files for a long time and just didn't arrive, but around a year ago they were finally added into Battlefront 2. They originally had a different ability to what they've got right now, which is the ARC Trooper Death Ray. Now according to Mophead, this still exists in a semi-functional state in the files, so maybe it could be reused for a future reinforcement. We've not seen anything like it in the game just yet. But these ARC Troopers were originally supposed to be part of that Sentinel class, which was obviously converted into the Infiltrator most likely, so their classes didn't really change, but this Death Ray wasn't added to them in the end, which could be something to do with the dual wielding pistols. Maybe they just wanted to keep those as the primary weapon all the time. I'm not too sure. They also had a back to shield ability, but it seems this was just reused for the Enforcer class as the Fortify ability, so you know, for reinforcements like the Death Trooper, the B2 Battle Droid, etc. So we don't have anything to do with that, so we're just going to be classing this one as the Death Ray, and it does look pretty cool. Much like the Pulse Cannon in a way, maybe a bit more powerful, but I'd maybe love to see this with those Rebel Honor Guards. I don't know if it would look weird or not, those using them, but we'll have to see, I suppose. At number 4 we have the Bacta Bomb. You'll remember this from Battlefront 1. It's just like a grenade really. You'd throw it down on the floor, but instead of exploding it would release Bacta, which would heal you and your nearby enemies. This was a port from Battlefront 2015 to Battlefront 2017, and is pretty much complete apart from maybe a few things here and there. So once again, this could be added in for reinforcement, it could be added in for the normal classes, which is what I would suspect, but we still haven't found it in the game. Obviously BB9E has some sort of Bacta ability, but it's not the Bacta Bomb. We're still awaiting this to come into the game. I feel it would be cool. It did get a bit overpowered in Battlefront 2015, but there's so much in this game right now, so many grenades, so much just everything in a lot of ways, that I don't feel it would impact things too much, and I do feel it could definitely be dealt with by your average player. As a Battlefront 2015 player myself, I'd really like to see this in the game. Now the final one in this list is Captain Phasma. She actually had 3 scrapped abilities. The abilities she ended up getting in the end were the Survivor, which gives her the extra health, the Droid obviously, and her abysmal Staff Strikes. Can we just get that out there? They're still awful in my opinion, but it's a subject for another day, I suppose. We can discuss it in the comments if you disagree. But she actually had 3 different abilities. These were Grenade Launcher, nothing new there, the Laser Gate, and the Healing Well. Now the Laser Gate and the Healing Well are very different. Let's take a look at all 3 of these abilities now. Now as you can see, the Grenade Launcher is nothing new, and I kind of get this one being left out. It would be a bit weird seeing Phasma running around with a grenade launcher. I just don't really think it suits her playstyle, to be honest, but nothing new there. However, the next one's Laser Gate. This one is much of a defense mechanism, to be honest. As you can see, it creates these red lasers and she can shoot from behind it, creating that wall in between, not like Leia's shield where it's a 360 wall, more like just a one-way thing. This would be great for locking down objectives in my opinion, and I have to say it's probably the thing from the game's files the most that I wish had been incorporated into the game. I would have taken this over her Staff Strikes, over her Droid. I have a feeling that both these last 2 abilities, the Laser Gate and the Healing Well, were swapped out for the Droid. It would be weird to have the Droid and a Healing Well or a Laser Gate, so I think it was out of those 3 you had to pick one. They probably picked the most, I don't know, kind of boring one, to be quite blunt. I feel like these other 2 are really interesting. As you can see, the Healing Well, it doesn't look much like a Healing Well. It looks more like somewhere where you'd go to get an electric shock, but if you stand around this, it would most likely regenerate your health. And is it anything new that we've never seen before? Not really, but the way in which it looks is unique. And I feel it would be great in-game to place one of these down and your team know that if they're a bit low in health, they can run over to Phasma and get some health back. Imagine just seeing all your teammates running around this. Not to mention the animations on the Healing Well especially are amazing, and the Laser Gate. For something that didn't manage to get into the game in the end, the animations are looking pretty much complete. Maybe they need tweaking here and there. I'd just love to see these 2 incorporated into the game somehow. Maybe through future heroes, who knows. If Krennic was added into the game, maybe instead of that shield he had in Battlefront 1, he could have one of these. But let me know which scrapped asset is your favourite, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We've not got many episodes of this series to go now. The next one could be the final one. At most, I'd say 2 more episodes, but thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you all next time.